Hi, hello besties, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Daphne if you're new here, and today is day 3 of Vlogmas for me. And today I decided to actually do something a little bit different and tell in a different location, actually at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and Universal Studios Hollywood. I'm actually excited to film here today because I wanted to do a story time. I used to actually work in the Wizarding World for over 2.5 years. I thought that it would just be like kind of a perfect place to kind of like do a little story time about what it's like to work here. Come along. I worked here from 2018 to right up to the pandemic, so March 2020. Super chilly out today, and it like feels so perfect for Hogsmeade, just because it has like all the snow on the roofs, and so it feels like extra in theme today also. So I started working at the Wizarding World in January of 2018. I started working there. I actually was working at Universal before I started there. I used to work in consumer insights, which is like the people that do the surveys in the park and everything. I actually did that for about almost a year before that. I started there in 2016 and ended in 2017. Kind of like how I got there was, so I used to work, so like I said, I used to work in consumer insights, and that job is non-union for working at Universal. It's one of the few like positions that isn't union. I was working for Consumer Insights. I actually auditioned to be a scare actor that year for 2017, and I got it, and I got a role and everything. I was Cheryl in Ash vs. Evil Dead. It was so fun. Oh my god, it was one of the best experiences ever. Do a whole story time about scare acting also. It's incredible. I had to quit Consumer Insights so then I would be able to work Horror Nights since it was non-union. Normally when you work for Horror Nights, if you already work in the park, normally you just do that and then you come back to your normal job once the run is done of Horror Nights. So since that position was non-union, I had to it was my choice to quit to pursue acting. It was so fun, and I figured it'd be like maybe a once-in-a-lifetime experience, so why would I want to miss that? Once the run ended, I reapplied at Universal and I got hired at the Wizarding World. It's pretty exciting that I was so nervous actually for my interview. I've worked in retail before, the part of the park, so there's like attractions in retail in Potter, and I was working retail. So a lot of my background already was retail, so I felt really comfortable like that aspect. But I've only read one book, and I've seen all the movies though multiple times, and I do like Harry Potter. I think it's like super fun. It's super like cute. It was a bug. Super cute story and everything. So I thought it'd be super magical to like work here, and you get to wear like really cool outfits also. I mean, who doesn't want to wear, like, you get to dress like a student, oh my gosh. Or when I worked at the station, you got to dress as like a porter, which is the person that the luggage on the train and everything, so we had really cute outfits there. So during my interview, I got asked like 3 questions about Harry Potter, like what do you know type thing, and I'm so lucky that my questions were so easy. I literally got asked, I remember them, who are Harry Potter's best friends, what position does he play in Quidditch, and what's the name of his owl. It was either what the name of his owl or what pet did he bring to Hogwarts. It was one of those, but luckily I got really easy questions, because when we were in onboarding, I was asking kind of other people what questions they got, and some people got really tough ones. Like, I remember one girl that asked like, who was killed by the basilisk? They still pronounce it wrong. The big snake. She said, oh, it was like Moaning Myrtle and everything. But if they would ask me that, I'd been like, I think I would have just like froze on the spot or blinked. Oh my gosh. Interview, they were like, oh, we're hiring for retail right now, but if you wanted to apply for attractions, we'll be doing those interviews in a couple weeks. And I was like, I really wanted to work here, so I was like, I'm fine with retail. Like, it was something I was already comfortable in. A couple weeks later, I go in for onboarding, and onboarding was so much fun. So you get the traditional Universal onboarding where you learn about like the history of the company, you get a tour of the park, you learn about safety, like all that stuff. And then for Harry Potter though, you actually get a couple separate days that are just Harry Potter. You go into an entirely different classroom that is all themed Harry Potter. So much fun. It was like a really, really, really fun time. And like the whole day just like learning about Harry Potter and like learning more about like the houses and everything, and history and theming and everything about it, and it was so incredible. Those were like some of the best days for sure. And then after we were done with our onboarding, then we did our on-the-job training that we all were hired specifically for Harry Potter. We all got broken up into smaller groups, and then we were assigned a store in the world that you'll do your on-the-job training at. And so I got assigned Filch's, which was really exciting. I was hoping I was going to get assigned Filch's because that's where you get to dress like a student. And so at the time I was thinking that that was going to be my favorite store because it was my favorite outfit. So then for that I got to do my on-the-job training there. And at the time actually I thought I was a Hufflepuff, so I think I was wearing a Hufflepuff student uniform like that time. And then I found out later that I'm actually genuinely and truly a Slytherin. It's probably why I'm wearing green today. Wanted to be in theme for the video also. It basically is what it sounds like. You get to go into like the different store, and then you like learn all about like the register and how to theme with guests, how to talk with guests, like where their stock is, you know, all general kind of job stuff, but you could do it all with Harry Potter stuff, so it was so fun. And then afterwards, and you kind of get scheduled different stores. You can bid to have like a home store in a way, so you get to like work that store in a season, and then there's like another bid for like the next time around, and you can bid for like a different store if you want to stay in that store. So I originally was more at Honeydukes, the candy store was kind of where I was usually scheduled after I was done with Filch's. But then I started working like all different stores, like familiar with them. When you first walk into the Wizarding World, you see the train and you see the conductor there, and then the first shop there is the station, is Hogsmeade Station, and that was actually my favorite store to work in. That one is, you first walk in and it's one of the first stores you see, and then right across from that is Honeydukes, which is like the candy store and everything. And then right after that will be Three Broomsticks, the restaurant, and then after that would be Ollivander's, the wand shop. And there you go, obviously you get to buy your wand choose you. It's like really, I love that store. That ended up being like my home store because I ended up being a lead at that store. Gosh, I've met so many incredible people working there, and it was so amazing. Definitely something incredible here is people that they hire, because you just meet so many lifelong friends here. It's incredible. Oh, sorry, I was going through stores. So right across from Ollivander's is Dervish and Bangs, and Dervish and Bangs is like one store, but it has like 3 kind of mini stores in it, all connected. So you have one that's like for the Quidditch area, you have one that's like where you can get like your robes and everything. Then another area is kind of like a main area, that's where they have like the Book of Monsters. You walk in and you see Hogwarts Castle. Right there would be Filch's Emporium, and that's like the last store that you'll run into in the Wizarding World, and that's one where you get to dress like a student, and all the students there are technically in detention. That's why they're working in the shop and everything. So there you really get to theme your own and of like why you're in detention, and that was always really fun. I used to say that I was in detention because of tongue enlargement spell on a Gryffindor. Like you can theme with whatever. Working in like different stores, and then I eventually applied to become a lead, and so that's like there's like regular employees, and then there's like a lead, and then supervisors, and then goes all the way up to management and everything. And so I was a lead at Ollivander's, and that's where I met just some like literally some best people in the entire world. It was so incredible and such a fun time there. Like getting to see kids out their wand and everything is so incredible, and like seeing their excitement and when they cast their first spell, so cute. So it's kind of like a rundown of all of it. I don't know, be like cliche and say that it's so magical working here, but it really is. Definitely like one of the favorite jobs I've ever had. If it wasn't for like the pandemic, I would have probably just come back or stayed. Like if the pandemic didn't happen, I'd probably still be working. And then like when everything shut down, I decided to do like other creative endeavors and different things and shut down. So yeah, after the pandemic, I had the option of like coming back and everything, but with other things that I was doing, I decided not to and kind of take a risk and try out like I guess being self-employed and everything. Just cracked and everything, so it was cool. Obviously every job has like its parts that make it, you know, a job, but I'd definitely say that like my favorite thing working here was always whenever I worked at the station, which was the first store. When you're walking in, you get to see everyone walking in, and when you get to see people their first time walking into Hogsmeade, like the village, and just seeing them like cry, or their expressions, like this is somewhere that they've like lived in the books, like mentally, or like feel like they've lived at like watching the movies. And so it was really, really incredible, and like it was cool seeing it. My best friend just watched all the movies for the first time, earlier this year. And so finally, like, he's been to Universal a lot, but after he watched the movies, it was cool seeing it through his eyes, and like made me really reappreciate all the details that they put in here and just how incredible this whole land really is. The least favorite thing about working here, I don't really have one. I would say that it was just like some parts suck, can be rude or anything. It was nothing about the job, I think. I know, because people come here and they're spending a lot of money already and they're expecting like an incredible experience, which as they should. And then if something doesn't go right, then they usually unfortunately take it out on the people that work here. That was like the only really like worst part of it. People buy out the parks, sections of the park, and do like a private event, and a lot of companies and a lot of people will buy out like the Wizarding World, and especially at night it's so gorgeous for the Special Olympics. And so they all were here, oh my gosh, and they all got a wand. I think it was definitely one of my favorite events that we ever had. I made it one time when I was working at the station. Sorry, a lot of my stories either involve working at Hogsmeade Station or Ollivander. At station, you get to stand outside and have like an owl and interact with kids. That was a really fun part too. Or the owl puppets, when you get to holding it all day for like 8 hours, you get to be pretty good with making it look really realistic, and that was one of my favorite things. Oh my god, one time, oh my god, I just remembered this. I was at the station, it was raining really hard, and so we had a poncho that was torn, like it was ripped, and so that person, like, they ended up buying a new one, and so we had a leftover poncho, and my pet owl, I think I named it Owlfredo because it was like a white like snow owl. And I made him a little poncho. I'll have to see if I can find it. If I find a photo of it, I'll like put it on screen because it was so cute. Oh my gosh. And so it was like little mini owl poncho. It was adorable. And standing there, and I was like out there with my owl and holding it. The station like looks at looks at the Three Broomsticks, the restaurant that I'm filming at right now. And there, like, there's a poster there, a wanted poster of Sirius Black, like the really infamous one. And Gary Oldman was leaned against his poster, just chilling. Like, I think he was like waiting for his family or something, but just the irony, the fact that he was like standing next to his poster was incredible. And literally these girls came up, and I thought that they were gonna ask him for a photo, but they asked him to move out of the way so they could get a photo with the poster. And it's just like, and he moved out of the way, he didn't even like say who he was or anything. It was so funny. And he was the only one from the movies that I've seen. I was working one day and Emma Watson was here, but she was actually here when I was on lunch. Like, she came into my shop when I was on lunch, so I totally missed her. The thing that they're so good at is like the personalities that they hire, because like I said, like that was definitely like one of my most favorite things, is like the people that I've met and worked with. Like, that made the job, besides the environment and ambiance and everything, like so special, was definitely that. And then, like, I don't think that you could honestly ask to work in a more incredible environment. It's like Disneyland would be like the most comparable, of course, like, or Galaxy's Edge would probably, I feel like that would be a lot of fun because it's so similar to here. It is getting so chilly now. I wanted to like film here since we were talking about the Wizarding World. I thought it'd be so fitting. I hope that the music isn't coming over too loud because that would be... There we go. Sorry, y'all. I thought my battery died, but it didn't. It just stopped recording for a second. Super fun. And so, yeah, just when I was here, I figured it'd be fun to do like a story time of like what it was like working here and kind of how I got hired and everything. And if you want to hear like a story time about scare acting too, I think I might do that later on in Vlogmas, because that is also such a magical and fun experience. Magical in an entirely different way. But yeah, and tell you guys all about how many times I got punched in the face and everything there. So yes, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I'm so excited to continue on Vlogmas, and yeah, thank you so much. Bye!